Well, hello, my beautiful Taurians. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your career and money reading for the end of October, right through the end of November 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Taurians, this is your career and money reading. I'm going to get all of your cards first before I connect to an outcome, so let us begin. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Taurians? What do they need to be aware of at this time regarding their career and their money situation? Can you please show them the way? What do they need to be aware of at this moment? So we have the Tower to start, just to be aware. I only take the uprights in the cards. I do not read reversals at this time unless they are in a resistance position. But your protagonist energy is the Tower. So a lot of you feel, stuck in some sort of structure right now. A lot of changes going on. You're trying to revamp the way that you work. And perhaps, there has been some surprises or shocks in your industry that you are trying to manage at this moment in time, but the sun energy indicates that, there are brighter times ahead. I want you to be aware of that. We do have the Lover's card as an outcome energy. It opens you up to choice, and I just heard from my guides, the universe removes distractions before you align with an upgrade. So, a lot of you may be going through that at this moment in time. But I need to get the rest of the cards to see what you're going through. I mean, the Tower can literally mean that something or someone surprises you in the working environment. The Tower is not a negative card, and actually when you get the Tower in any of the positions, you kind of want it where it's at. The protagonist energy, it means it's your energy. You're revamping the way that you work. A lot of you may feel, how would you like to receive? We've got the Six of Pentacles there. You want more balance in the working environment. You just want things to be reciprocal. You may feel like you've hit a glass ceiling as to where you're at right now, whether that's in terms of the tasks and responsibilities that you have. It may feel mundane. You want a little bit more excitement there. Six of Pentacles, you want reciprocity for the gifts that you have. You want it to be financially fair. And we have that King of Pentacles. I'm loving that, my beautiful Taurians, because that means that you are attracting more wealth. Could be stepping into some sort of promotion or some sort of opportunity to build more money. And we got the Queen of Pentacles there as well. Okay, so this could be, you got the Lover's card here. So some of you may be thinking about partnering up with your partner or someone who is significant in your life. If you're single, for example, this could be a friend or a family member in order to structure a money-making idea. I think it's going to be very lucrative for you if that's you. I feel like you'll turn to better times when it comes to finances. And we got the Strength card there, and we got the Nine of Swords. Okay. Now, the Nine of Swords indicates worry. Okay, and it can indicate that sometimes when you're doing something, no matter what it is, you care so much about it that sometimes you worry. You hope it goes your way. You hope that it is successful. I can see from your energy it is successful. It's not going to stop you from worrying, of course. Nine of Swords can be like you're turning the power of doubt to the power of possibility, okay? You are limiting distractions and you're making sure that you are catching any intrusive thoughts. Because when you're about to be monumentally successful or you're about to make a major change, sometimes the doubt creeps in, and this could be a fear of success, because success means change. It means that something in your environment will evolve in a certain way that perhaps you are unfamiliar with, or you feel the pace of the environment will change, and actually it brings a little bit of worry there. But I feel there's nothing to worry about. I feel like you're going to love the outcome because the Lover's card is there, which means you're aligning with something that is better for you at this moment in time, okay? Now, I want to just address, before I talk about everybody else, I want to address anyone who is currently out of work, who has either been made redundant or had to leave a position because it was toxic, or, a contract ran to its natural cycle and end there. The Tower can represent a shock, and it can also indicate that perhaps, you've been forced out of your comfort zone and you've been looking for work for quite some time. And you may be surprised because the Six of Pentacles with the Queen of Pentacles, this indicates you have a lot of knowledge. You're someone who is a hard worker. You're someone who's practical, trustworthy, grounded, and you're someone who has been committed to your goals your whole life. But some of you may have come across opportunities where people have said to you, you're overqualified, okay? And that just means, the money isn't right. The budget isn't there for them to pay for your gifts. It means that it's a cop-out, really, for them to say, oh, you're overqualified. They're making it your problem when really it's actually theirs. They cannot afford you. Remember to value your skill set, okay? Because I do see a role coming on in that actually is an upgrade. My guides even gave that to me before these cards popped out, okay? And this is your reading. It's not really about anyone else. But because we have that Queen of Pentacles, this is your starting position, okay? And you're going to a King of Pentacles. So no matter what you're kind of like putting your resume out towards right now, what is coming in for you is an upgrade on your current position or on the position you had before you were searching for new roles, okay? So I want you to be aware of that. Even if you're in a role right now, I feel there's some sort of upgrade, more responsibility, of course, but more money attached to an opportunity coming on in. So for some of you, with that Tower, you may feel a little bit isolated or alone right now and feel that perhaps, it's a very austere environment. It's very challenging to, be seen for anything right now because the Sun is in the resistance position. So some of you are like, I'm not even getting an interview right now. And the universe is asking you to trust. Keep moving forward because the right opportunity will be unveiled in the right moment. I feel there's a process to this new role and it had to become ready and finalized before it was available for you to interview for it. And you will interview for it and it shall be yours, okay? So just be a little bit mindful of that. The Lover's card indicates you're attracting something that you would love to do, okay? But I feel there's something here where if you're putting your resume out there, it feels like someone is about to leave a role and then the vacancy becomes available. Now, you may have noticed in a lot of job applications or opportunities are out there with that Six of Cups, there could be a lot of nepotism going on in the industries that you work in right now. And you may be kind of witnessing that even if you go for an interview, because legally it has to be outsourced and put out there into the public arena, the public market, but it can be that they are filling it in-house the majority of the time. The role that is right for you, it's not going to follow that procedure. I want you to be aware of that, okay? So that's something that's coming through here. King of Pentacles is you stepping into a leadership position or a position of authority with status that is commanding respect, but also brings in more money. This is an enterprising role, and it means you have the ability to attract another opportunity from this. So I feel in this role, if it is connected to a company, no matter what you do, even if you work in a warehouse or you want to work in a warehouse or for a manufacturer or for an office or a financial institution, corporate work or creative work, whatever it is, I feel this is a very prestigious role or opportunity that you're offered here. And there's one more move. There's one more step in this role for you. And what I mean by that is there is an opportunity for you to staircase, or there's going to be an opportunity for you to have a promotion later on when you're more established in this role. But certainly financially, you're going to be doubling down on your finances and building wealth. This is a card that indicates you're manifesting conditions right now to align with a role that helps you manifest more money, and you will be abundant in this role. But you'll work hard. It's a very serious role. This could be very business minded, or for some of you, if you are creative, because I'm seeing with the Six of Cups, some of you may kind of like return to like a serious role that brings in money that actually helps you with a dream role that you want. Now, I'm being given as well 1112. 1112 is an important number for you as well, no matter who you are. 1112, this could be the number of the building that you go to for an interview, could be the end digits of a cell phone number, or, you know, a business's number. Could also be relevant in terms of date. 1112, I mean, we're moving into November, so it could be the 12th of November that you like sign a deal or go for an interview. So just be mindful of the numbers that just came through for you, because it may be relevant, may not be, but you know, I have to honor everything that comes through there for you. But if you're looking for a role, there's one coming on in. And I feel a lot of you, this can be connected to a trade as well. But I'm feeling that for some of you, if you're currently out of work, you could be formulating a plan to be your own boss, because this card is like you bossing up in some way and being practical about your gifts and saying, you know what? I'm really gifted in this area. I could make a business out of that. And yes, you could. And you're going to build a lot of wealth with that formation there as well. This is a card of structure, and it's also a card of you kind of like partnering up. So it could be a company, as I mentioned, if you're looking for a role, putting your resume out there. I feel like you align with the perfect company, but someone had to vacate the role before it was ready for you. And I feel like you're going to love it. And there's a lot of options in this role there as well. I mean, at first, with that Nine of Swords, you may overthink it. You're starting new. You're starting at a really high position there. Maybe, because what I'm seeing here is you like upgrading, right? And when you upgrade, of course, you've got the skill set, you've got the knowledge. But sometimes when you step into something new or you're reaching for something more, there's always going to be a little bit of anxiety, you know, new buildings, new people to get to grips with their names and understand who they are and deal with their personalities, new cell phone numbers or new numbers to call, or new strategies or structures to get au fait with. Don't worry about it. You're going to learn as you earn, and you're going to fit in really nicely in this environment. But at first you may feel a little bit daunted or worried about that, but I feel it's nothing to worry about, okay? So the Nine of Swords, as you can see there's a big old tornado, okay? And you've got the Tower here. So this can be like a monumental change. So you could be migrating your skills in some way, but you're still building wealth, and you're really going to enjoy what you're doing. There seems to be this big restructure going on, and I feel that you are ahead of leading competition, for example, in whatever it is that you're interviewing for. I feel like you just bagged the role, okay? Now, I would also say you will return to, I'm just seeing three interviews potentially for this role. And normally it would be two, but they're going to make it three, because I feel there's a person who needs to interview you who's in a high-ranking position, but they're away at this moment in time. So it may delay the process a little bit, but this person's going to love you. The fact that you got to that third stage, anyway, you know, it's yours. So I want you to be aware of that. So good luck. Don't sweat it. Remember what you have to offer that other people do not, okay? You know, Six of Pentacles has aligned with the Tower. Six of Pentacles is a surprise opportunity coming out of the blue, especially when you've got the Tower there. This could shock you. It could be like, whoa, suddenly there's a role that matches financially the skill set. You may have noticed a lot of roles out there that you're like, okay, people keep saying that you are overqualified, and you're really good at what you do. You're really established at what you do. So you may have noticed that the pay grades have been shorter, smaller than what they should be for the role and the requirements of that role. However, you're about to find balance and harmony in a role that aligns with the pay that you want, and it feels like a perfect match, okay? So I'm just going to leave it there with a lot of love and respect. Good luck on your onward journey, and I can definitely see here that, you know, there is going to be a really wonderful partnership. Now, for everyone else, of course, for some of you, there may be some changes in your working environment that may surprise you, especially if you work for a company. So I feel there could be someone suddenly leaving, okay? And this actually helps the environment return to happier times. So this could be a gatekeeper, as it were, for opportunity, or it could be someone who's been a bit stricter with the financial purse. regarding investment in the company. And once they leave, I just feel it's a bit of a freer environment. But there could be talks about some sort of change or strategy or merge going on. I mean, is there such thing as a demerge? There could also be a demerge there, companies detaching from each other to go solo. And this could make people worry a little bit, but in the long run, I feel it's better for the company. And I feel that actually further down the line, it's an exciting process that helps build wealth. And the initial changes may seem like a shock or a gear shift, but I feel long term, these changes will guide the company through economic turbulence. Okay, we're all noticing there is economic turbulence. I've been shouting about this for a couple of years now. My guides are like, there was a build up, there's more to come, but nothing to be paranoid about. It's important to recognize that, but there are some changes coming, and I feel like you're protecting your wealth. Looking at your position, you are protecting, maintaining, and sustaining your position, but also your wealth. You're thinking about maturing your finances and building structure to protect anything that you have long term. I mean, a lot of you are going to be really reflecting on your 401ks and your pensions at this time, because King of Pentacles is to mature your finances. And of course, the Lover's card can be to create a structure. Look at your options right now in order to build some sort of, nest egg or pension pot or 401k for the future, where, you can kind of amalgamate everything into your legacy, your inheritance, so that your friends, family, whoever you choose benefits from, your acquisitions in your lifetime. So some of you are thinking about that, thinking ahead, as it were. A lot of you may be looking at insurance or, this is a little bit morbid, but, it's practical. And you've got two practical cards here. Some of you may be looking at, the acquisitions, the money, the fortune that you have right now, and being drawn to doing things like legal aspects, like will formation, for example, locking down your acquisitions in order to secure it and designate and portion out. Now, I want you to be aware, there's nothing negative here, okay, when it comes to that sort of thinking. I feel it's just you being practical about, making sure you protect what you own and where it goes long term. So, it feels very much like a formation that is practical, and there's nothing negative here, okay? So I just want you to be aware of that. The Tower, as I said, is in your protagonist energy. So for the rest of you, I feel this is you restructuring your finances for some of you. But what I'm getting here is, and it's interesting that you have this sort of horse that is there as well on the Six of Cups. I'm getting this energy of like, there's a song that's coming through. Now, this song has come up before, maybe not for your sign, I'm not sure, but I've got to honor it because it's coming through. Very famous song, Broken Down and Tired. I think it says fed up of the merry-go-round or something. It went really muffled, but I just heard merry-go-round. And it's a very famous song by Andra Day. And it is called Rise Up, I think. So I feel, again, it's like upgrade, rise up. There's been some challenge. This could be frustrating. You're under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure there. You are exhausted. You feel tired, perhaps, of a structure or routine. And it feels like sometimes you're working really hard, you can't see the progress, because if you think about a Six of Cups, and it is in the resistance position, if you think about a horse goes the distance, it makes advancements, it travels, it is powerful, loyal to a cause, and, is very fast-paced. But the rocking horse is like back and forth, back and forth. You may feel that what you do day to day, you've been back and forth, and there's a structure, and looking at the energy, you're invested in what you're doing. You have a lot to offer, your skill set. You're very talented at what you do. And you need to make sure that it's balanced, it's reciprocal, it's fair. And the Tower energy indicates you may have got into some sort of structure or cycle of repeat that you feel like you've hit a certain pay grade, that you feel like, okay, I'm taking on more responsibilities, more work right now. There should be more money to go with this. Even if you work for yourself, you could be limited to a certain way of working or structure right now that you want to lift the lid on. This can be that you are under pressure. And, of course, whenever we do something that we care about, we put ourselves under pressure, okay, to strategize, to reach certain goals, to lock on to deadlines and things like that. We put ourselves under that pressure because we care, we're building towards something, but you need to know that you're adding value or that you're making an impact in your industry in some way and that you are making progress. And recently it may have felt like it's 2 steps forward, 4 steps back, or you may feel like you have, hit a certain plateau in your finances or in your working environment and you're reaching for more. So you're literally smashing through a glass ceiling. I actually see the Tower as a really positive energy here. I mean, of course, yes, there may be some changes, rules, regulations, and transformations going on in your industry, but I feel it is to try and get back to better working environments or try to return to happier times, because this is like a card of like the good old days where things seemed simpler or easier or somehow not as high pressured as they are now, and you will return to that is what I see. Even if you work for yourself, whether you work for a company, no matter the industry you work in, I feel you're working super hard. You're putting in the extra effort, the extra hours, and it just needs to be fair. You need to start seeing the results. And I feel over the next coming weeks, you're going to see some sort of payoff or results or things coming together as you had hoped. But there's also a nice little surprise here. You may even surprise yourself at what you're capable of, because I feel like you're so proud of yourself here. Something that perhaps you worried about actually formulates and comes together the way you'd hoped for. And, it shows you some sort of financial indication that everything is connected to your plan, it's starting to work, and you're committed to prosperity, and you're seeing like the first signs of tangible success, something in the real world that you can touch, that you can see, okay? With that Six of Pentacles, of course, this is an energy of give and take. I feel a lot of you in your personal finances, you could be moving some money around in order to make your finances work. A lot of you are, portioning off finances to make sure that strategically you stick to a plan, a savings goal. I mean, for some of you, if you're married or you have a partner, if your partner's been out of work as well, I do see that they return to work. Six of Cups is returning to something, okay? If you've been, out of work because you've been on maternity leave or paternity leave, or if you have been out of work because you've been, out of balance or you've been unwell in some way, I see a lot of you returning to work when you feel the moment is right. And, I feel like you have a lot to offer there. This card also indicates that for some of you, there may be some sort of generous knowledge being gifted to you. There's definitely a gift here. I mean, whenever you get this card, this indicates that some of you, if you work for a company, there could be a bonus or commission or an incentive for some of you. Some of you will get more duties, for example. So it could be that you're asked to take on more responsibility, be a third party key holder, or be someone who perhaps, does health and safety in the working environment, or is a fire warden, first aider. There could be a financial incentive that's offered to you after a period of review. Because I feel a lot of you with that sun energy, there's going to be some sort of review period over the next coming weeks. And you could be offered something that just brings in a little bit of extra finances there. And even if you're getting a review, this could be that you're told about the company and its challenges, but you are being singled out for a bit of a bonus or a bit of a reward there because you've gone above and beyond. Now, if you work for yourself, this can be that you're trying to stay on top of your finances, you're trying to be measured with your finances. There's some money-making opportunity coming on in here, or some, sudden money coming back to you. So this could be, a return, a tax rebate, for example, or it could also be a royalty or residual from a past thing that you did. But also, I see something new coming in here for you. This could be that you have a sudden eureka moment, sudden idea, an epiphany, where you're like, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Let's do it. You could be structuring a new money-making idea and you give it all that you've got. And, the Queen of Pentacles there is often the architect of her dreams, committed to a goal, uses resources in order to obviously conserve wealth and build a life of comfort. But also this could be an idea that you have in the home space, because the Queen of Pentacles is all about domesticity. So suddenly, you could be money making from home, for example. Or some of you could be, as a side hustle, selling pre-loved goods. You could be decluttering, because this is like clearing everything out, okay? If you think about any storms or any tower energy, it releases pressure or it clears space. clears the air. So a lot of you could be clearing down things in your home, for example, and actually selling pre-loved goods, and it brings in just some extra finances there for you. Queen of Pentacles is a home body or someone who makes money out of their home or even real estate. So some of you could actually see that there's a bit of a dip in the market, and you may corner that in some way and go into real estate, for example, and set up a legal structure and, be your own boss. Some of you are partnering up with somebody in order to run a business, or perhaps you and your partner decide to leave one place if you have a partner and rent out what you've left and, go somewhere else, for example. So I just see a lot of ideas going on here. This may not resonate with all of you. Even if you're single, this could be an idea that you're having right now to partner up with a sibling or a family member, or partner up with a social media platform to promote your work or promote your ideas, or even partner up with a banking institution to get a loan, to leverage debt in order to make it an investment tool to open you up to build your wealth. Okay, that's a lot that's coming out here, but you've got your mind on your money and your money on your mind. And whoever you are, even if you're looking for a job, or if you are someone who is comfortable financially right now, maybe you're even retired, you may be still thinking about your money and making sure that you get good advice in order to, protect your finances, maybe even build wealth through certain acquisitions, or you may even still have some passive income or second stream of income coming on in through real estate or through something that you created. A lot of you, I'm looking at the energy here, if you were thinking about retirement, you may be thinking about semi-retirement because of the Lover's card. It is a duality card, which means you dabble in two areas. So, of course, it can be based on your worries, but I feel when you get into a rhythm, or, you build a certain structure regarding your retirement, a lot of you will let something run its course and maybe then give it over to someone else to manage, and you just get the money on in. Okay, so a lot of you are thinking about those structures right now as well. But whoever you are, I feel like you're working really hard with that Queen of Pentacles. You're fully invested in your tasks and your goals. And of course, the Queen of Pentacles is an energy of creating security for you and your loved ones for your future. And I see that all over here with your reading. You're being resourceful, of course, and I feel like you are financially very savvy, but also learning more about wealth. And I feel like you're being realistic about your goals there as well. Now, the sun energy, it's in the resistance position at first. So a lot of you have been looking at your energy levels. Yeah, that song came out there for a reason. Broken Down and Tired. I mean, the tower is broken down as well. So, I hate to give this message, but for some of you, there may be something that you utilize for your career that has a bit of a glitch or needs to be fixed. Repaired is what I'm seeing there. Some of you may repair it yourself and give it a little bit more of a longer life, but eventually it will come to a natural kind of end there, okay? And you may have to repair it professionally or replace it, okay? So that's something. The Six of Cups there tells me you return to it, so a lot of you are going to fix it, okay? I hate to give that message, but it's something that's there. So you may be purchasing new tools, or you may be investing in repairing something. Now, I'm just going to leave that there because, of course, that's not going to be everybody. There's about 8% of you beautiful Taurians who are going to connect to that in the next couple of weeks. Now, the Sun card, as I said, is all about energy. And with it in the resistance position at first, a lot of you are exhausted. So it's important to, return to replenishing your energy, taking a pause or a break. A lot of you may be working really hard in order to take a vacation. So you're trying to get ahead of yourself at this time. But with the sun energy, it will go into the upright, which means more vitality, more energy. And I feel like a lot of you have been doing so much. There's just been a lot on your plate, and structure is actually going to work really well for you, but there may be something that surprises you, that comes a little bit left field, that demands your attention more than the other things that you normally do. Because I feel there's a habit energy here where you're in a routine, there's certain things that you do that are repetitive, that you stay on top of your duties, but there may be something that requires your critical attention, and you have to leave the structure aside for a moment to prioritize something else. You're going to get it done. There's nothing to worry about. This could be a deadline that perhaps you missed or were not aware of on something. I would say as well with the Strength card, looking at the energy, this feels more like stress or pressure. And a lot of you are trying to manage stress and pressure here. I feel there's nothing to worry about. Even if you are a little bit worried about your finances right now, I see that, you know, you're going to be sent lots of ideas and an opportunity that comes left field in order to gain wealth, because all of your cards are about gaining wealth at this time. And, you know, with that Lover's card, for some of you, if you lent someone some money, okay, and you're like, they haven't paid it back, I feel, looking at the energy, they may give an installment or an offering to pay some money back. It will come in drips and drabs. I got to be honest with you there, but you will get it paid in full. If you need it more now than ever, then I would say you need to have a diplomatic conversation about that person and say, hey, look, you may surprise them, because the Tower is like, you may not be the sort of person to normally like say, hey, I need the money back, but you may shock the person, but they will give it back. They will do everything they can to do it, and, you know, you'll resolve it. But, you know, it may, I gotta be honest with you, Nine of Swords, there's a little bit of a cloud, okay? But I feel like sometimes we have to acknowledge that if they said they'd pay it back by a certain date, they need to honor that, okay? And if you need the money now, then of course you're going to ask for it, and you will get it. But there may be just a little bit of a cloud of conflict there, but it will be resolved. I want you to be aware of that. Be your authentic self, speak your truth, because sometimes we put ourselves under pressure because we're like, oh, I know they can't give it back right now, or I know that they're going under a lot of stress and strain, but so are you. So do remember that. Don't forget yourself in all of this generosity, okay? Because this Six of Pentacles, it means you're being generous to somebody, or you have been generous, you've given to somebody. But because we got that Nine of Swords there, and the Lover's card with the King of Pentacles, it can be that you need to be resourceful now. If you need the money, you need to ask for it back. So that's just something that's coming through there. But let's get back to the Sun energy. I feel a lot of you are working really hard and you feel like you go unnoticed right now. It's just like nose to the grindstone. It just feels like it's hard right now. But I feel like you are going to be appreciated for what you do. The Sun is a lot of success. It means that there's a flourishing in your career and you're building something that is truly special, but most importantly, secure. As you can see, there's a wall here, okay, and the bricks are the formation of something solid. So I feel like you're building towards something that's going to be very solid for your future, and, you know, you're going to be really proud of yourself. But also the Sun energy indicates some sort of promotion. So it could be that you're promoting your work if you work for yourself. Could be that you're networking, getting yourself out there because of that Lover's card energy. There could be an opportunity where you suddenly meet like a well-known entity in your industry. So no matter what industry you work in, it could be an opportunity for you to have a co-alliance with that person. And actually, you may meet someone who is connected to your industry, who is really famous or well-known, and they know your work, or they have heard about you, or they know what you do. Okay, so I feel this is going to make you excited, but also there's this energy of worry here. It's like, oh my gosh, you know, so you could be offered something from this person and now you're stepping up. It feels like an upgrade, and it just feels like the little jitters that come from success, that you're moving into a new stage or a new kind of environment, and you're gaining more money, gaining more like traction, more acknowledgement, more opportunity to expand. And it just feels like the nerves before you really like hit the big time, or you know, upgrade in your career, align with more, because I feel the door to more is opening, and you're doing it all by yourself. But I feel there is an energy swirling around you where someone wants to give you like a step up. Okay, this could be a boss if you work for a certain company, or it could be someone who's like a CEO or a silent partner in an industry, and maybe you know who this person is, and you could get in the elevator with that person and like start talking to that person, and suddenly they're like, oh yeah, I know who you are. Yeah, I've been watching your work and we're really proud of you. In fact, you're going to have a great appraisal. And you could be like, oh my gosh, they actually know my name, where you felt like you kind of weren't seen, as it were. And they kind of like, hey, you know, do you want to meet for lunch on Thursday and talk some stuff over? Or they could say, come and see me in my office, or whatever. You know, I just feel like there's something here for you like that. And if you work for yourself, or you're an independent worker, artistic in nature, you know, whatever it is that you do, you could meet someone who is a leading person in your industry, and, you know, they've seen what you're about. And it may shock you, But at the same time, it is exciting because it means you're forming a bond with this person. And this person, they've got a soft spot for you. When they meet you, they really like you and they want to elevate. So I feel, this is an energy of some sort of co-alliance or someone. I mean, Six of Pentacles is a generous benefactor. Now, it doesn't mean that they're going to say, here's like $1 million. But it could be like they want to invest in your idea or your business, or they want to invest in you. But it could also be knowledge. It could be an opportunity that's offered as well. Something is being offered to you, that's for sure. And you'll celebrate this as well. But also, as I said, it makes you feel a little bit nervous, okay? The Sun means success. It's the most positive card in the deck, and it will go into the upright for you. So that means you're going to be seen. You're going to be acknowledged. A lot of you, this could come through an appraisal. So some sort of meeting between you and, someone in your industry that kind of regulates things or offers opportunities and basically has been monitoring what you've been up to and wants to open that door to more for you there, okay? Now, Six of Cups, of course, this is in the resistance position at first. Some of you, not all of you, you may come across a person. Now, this could be a client, could be a customer, could be someone you work with. There's an energy here of unrealistic expectations. You're someone who brings your A game every time. You're invested. Queen of Pentacles, I often say the Queen is the power behind the throne. So I feel like you're someone who's in a powerful position already. You're maintaining and sustaining. You're very financially savvy. But this Six of Cups indicates there could be someone who asks you for something that feels either complicated, unrealistic in its expectation, or a little bit clouded, like they don't really kind of know what they want. Get it in writing. Because that way, when you complete the task or whatever it is that you're doing, okay, you have a documented evidence that they asked for it that way. Because this person is going to switch it around and say, I asked for this. And you're like, no, you said you wanted it a little bit more like this. And they're going to pull rank or try and power play here and say, no, I kind of asked for it like this. And I'm the one who is paying, or I'm the one who's in control. Just watch out for that. You will have documented evidence that you can forward to that person and say, completed, whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe it's a brief on something, or, maybe it's you sending something, whatever it is. You are forwarding that documented evidence to say, this is what you asked for. So when they go, excuse me, they can then read the email or whatever the document is below and go, oh, okay, that is what I asked for. Okay, can we amend or change, or can we just tweak this? They'll come at you from a different angle. So that's coming out there, okay? Now, Six of Cups is a return to happier times. For some of you, because of the alignment of the cards, if you're currently looking for an upgrade in your industry, or you're looking for some sort of knowledge or some sort of, making headway kind of path. I don't even know what I mean by that. I just feel like some of you may connect to someone from your past, because a lot of you, there is money from your past coming into your future, or something that you started or have been investing in or nurturing from your past is going to inform your future. But I'm also seeing a person. So this could be a person who is doing something that you're thinking about doing, and they're doing it, and you may be reaching out to this person and saying, hey, I love what you do. How did you structure that? You're going to do something unique and based on your own principles and your own work ethic and your talents, but there may be a structure, because the King of Pentacles is all about structure. So you could ask them how they did it, and they're going to just give you the advice freely. They're actually honored to be able to help someone, because Six of Pentacles is to help. And I feel a lot of you would also pay it forward as well and help another person too. So that's coming through there. But you could be connecting to someone you used to work with, or someone that you're a friend with, or someone that you know who's doing something that you want to do or want to structure. And, they're going to give you the advice freely. I don't feel like they're going to ask you to pay for it. It's generous of them, and it just sets you moving forward. And you're just going to be really content, wow, what a good egg. That person really could have charged me for that, but actually they didn't. And now I'm up and running. I feel like you're always going to remember this person, and you're going to do a good deed for this person in the future. Everything is connected. This person is not asking you to do a favor in the future for them, and you're not really asking them for a favor. You're just saying like, how did it happen? I'm happy to pay, or I'm happy to, and they're like, no, I'll just tell you. But everything's connected, because in the future they will need your advice on something, and you're going to freely give it because, I feel you are balanced in that. But we have the Strength card here as well. Now, of course, it's in the resistance position at first. A lot of you, there is this energy of feeling like you were struggling with something, or you felt a little bit angry. For some of you, angry because we've got the Tower there. Angry that things have not been balanced or not been fair. You've been doing more work than others, for example. Things will be fair, okay? There may be a review period, especially if you work for a company where someone is exited and it's noticed that they're coasting or they're not doing something. It's long overdue, but it's coming. So I want you to be aware of that. I feel like you maintain and sustain a position, and actually you grow where you're at right now. But with the Strength card as well, I feel a lot of you, I'm seeing like a soda bottle right now. I feel a lot of you just feel like structure is nice. Okay, and it helps you do your day-to-day tasks, but you want things to be a little bit more fizzy. You want to do something a little bit more bold and daring. So you may actually offer to take on more responsibility, or offer to learn new skills, upskill, or, perhaps help somebody so that you can learn and expand your reach there. If you work for yourself, I feel this could be that, you are thinking about upgrading your business in some way with tools, maybe even branching out into a new bold arena. And you'll conquer that as well, is what I see there. I feel a lot of you could be doing 2 streams of income, doubling down on what you're doing. It almost feels like it's the same kind of formula or same sort of structure, but you may be doing it twice. And that's going to be a lot of work. And yes, it's going to be a lot on your mind, a lot on your to-do list, and at times it will feel overwhelming, but I feel like you've got this, okay? So I feel that the Lover's card is a card of duality. It means second streams of income, or doing 2 things, or, being talented at many different things and making it work, kind of like simultaneously keeping it on the go, a cycle of repeat there. But I feel a lot of you, looking at the energy, it's like you're breaking away from a cycle of repeat, or there's a structure. And yes, it works, but you want something a little bit new, a little bit more exciting. So contemplating new ideas, or stepping into new roles or new ways of working to help keep things fresh is something that I feel a lot of you are doing at this time. Now, the Lover's card, of course, is a choice card. So you may be looking at your options regarding your finances, because it's clear money is all over your reading right now, but also you may be looking at different places to invest your finances, real estate, or doing something that brings in passive income as a cycle, okay? Because a lot of you are looking at protective acquisitions, or places to invest your money or safeguard your finances in tried and tested areas, just in case there was any economic market kind of volatility. And I feel like you're secure, you're making good decisions, but it's not going to stop you from worrying there. The swords, I want you to be aware of, swords are all about thoughts. They're all about the mind. And, the 9 of Swords can be an energy of anxiety about worst case scenario. And as humans, we all go to that. So if you're launching something, doing something new, I see it being very successful. And there's going to be a lot of people wanting to work with you or partner up with you there. I mean, for some of you, with that Sun energy, if you work on your own as a contractor, or you work as a freelancer, or you are your own boss in any shape or form, independent in any way, I feel this could be you like partnering up with social media platforms, in order to create visibility for your industry, marketing yourself, promoting yourself, getting yourself out there, being seen. You're going to have a lot of people attracted, because this is a magnet card, attracted to your skill set, to your gifts, and to your industry, and there's more money coming on in. So I feel you are gaining traction, or getting more people interested in what you do. And of course, there's going to be some clients, customers, or whoever it is you work for, who are going to come and go. But at the end of the day, you're also going to retain a solid base of customers or clients or subscribers or whatever it is that you do. And, you know, there's going to be people who are with you long lasting in your industry. And then there's going to be people who trial, come in and out. Don't worry about it. You know, as soon as someone leaves, it means there's a place for someone else to come on in. And, you know, the universe will remove anything that's not meant for you and will always align you with what is right for you. So breathe, relax, you've got this. I mean, also, this can be partnerships with banking systems as well. I've mentioned that already. So there may be so much choice out there. You're like, oh my gosh, who's the best? I mean, I would say always, because you've got duality cards here and the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. And of course, I don't know who I am, you know, reading for right now, but there's a lot of wealth here. So either you're building a lot of wealth for your future or you have a lot of wealth right now. It could be something you're aspiring to or something you have accumulated already. I would say always do your due diligence where you're housing your finances and make sure that if they are linked by license, that means that, you know, the amount of money that you can house in that establishment is set with a certain amount. So you're protected legally up to a certain amount. But, you know, if you have two separate entities, it's double amount. So let's just throw it out there and say, let's say, for example, you had $1 million. Congratulations if that's you. That's incredible. But let's say the amount was $1 million, right? And if you put $1 million in this account and $1 million in this account, say if you had two of those millions, we can all but dream. But if you have that, as I said, congratulations. I'm sure it's very hard to have made that because I see in this energy you're self-made. But so if they are not linked by license, then both accounts with that $1 million in each are protected because the amount is the amount. But if they're linked by license, it means only one amount is protected. So if there was any economic crisis, for example, one of those is not, you know, protected because the amount was 1 million. So I just want you to be aware of that. I don't know why it's coming through, but obviously it's coming through there. So just be mindful, of course, regarding your acquisitions. But for everybody else, you know, who's not connecting to that, the Lover's card means you need to love what you do and you need to be aware that you're advancing. And sometimes when you're in the middle of things, you can't see how you're advancing. When you take a step back, you can see the progress and you can see that actually you've come a long way. But that King of Pentacles, it normally represents some sort of promotion, some sort of upgrade, or, you know, new money coming on in, or your yields being a little bit higher, or being able to save a little bit more money than you expected. Also, from a really practical point of view, I feel a lot of you are locked onto your plans. You're being disciplined, you're being structured, you're being unbothered by other people's drama in order to focus on what's important in your industry. And also, I feel this is you locking onto administrative tasks. This can be like the boring stuff that people have to do. So for example, if you are an artist and you love being flamboyant and painting and just getting lost in the moment and having all these wonderful creations, you're still making money out of your creations. You still have to account for those creations. You still have to have documents, receipts of all your sales, spreadsheets, you know, tax time, all of the stuff, right? So it can be a lot of you, no matter what you do, this next 6 weeks could be you locking on to returning to things that are a little bit more practical, you know, spreadsheets, invoices, documents, filing, you know, even if you work for a company, it could be that you're getting all the statements ready or stapling documents together. These could be like mundane tasks that need to be done, things that perhaps you've set aside to do, but that Six of Cups means you're returning to something that you know you need to get round to, but you weren't so excited about it, but you're breaking free from the structure and you're going to go do it. It's almost like you break free from a structure in order to enter into some other structure. So that's what I'm seeing there. And this could be that you're locking on to the practical stuff, okay? I mean, a lot of you, this is you being very business minded. This is about you also being enterprising, expanding your reach, trying to find conditions that help you manifest more in connection with your desires. I mean, I'm also just seeing this thing, like some of you could become consultants with what you do, whether you work for a company, whether you work for yourself. Could be that you are doubling down on what you do. So if something is working, you're like, okay, do I have time to replicate it? because of that Lovers card. So you could be thinking about that and just making it in some way passive income. Because I feel a lot of you looking at the energy, it's like, how do I make something just go back and forth, tip over financially without actually me having to move or take action or do something? And this just could be an idea or something that you're researching at this time, and it may shock you on how to do it, but once you get the structure up and running, I feel it could be free flowing and you have time to do other things. Some of you are trying to buy back your time by doing that. Like, they say that real estate is passive income, but you had to have the money to invest in that in the first place and, you know, get that up and running. But once it kind of informs itself, I guess it is passive income. It's doing its own thing. So a lot of you could be thinking about these things right now. I mean, the Nine of Swords is worst case scenario, but it's a thought in your mind there. And, you know, King of Pentacles is to protect yourself against worst case scenario. So I feel like, you know, where you're at right now, you're maintaining, sustaining, and I feel like you're in a really great position, but it's always going to make you worry because with some of the changes, if you work for a company, it could be that you've seen some downsizing. You could have seen some redundancies. You could have seen some severance packages going on there. You may also witness leading brands in the industry that you're in, or leading figures closing shop or closing their business. And you may be just worrying that the market or the industry right now is struggling, okay? And you're just worried about your future. But I feel like you're still standing despite the storm, or you're still standing despite the challenges. And I feel like you are here to stay in your industry. And I feel like you're being flexible and you're adapting by learning new things, by working really hard and adapting to these changes. You're flexible is what I'm seeing there. I'm going to pull a quick card on that Nine of Swords. I mean, because the Tower is there with the Nine of Swords, sometimes this can indicate being taken unawares with a bill. Okay, I hate to give you that message, okay? For some of you, I'm just going to call it as I see it, right? Some of you, this could be a parking penalty or fine. I feel it's where you park, not speeding. I see parking. So just be a little bit mindful about where you park over the next 6 weeks if you do drive a car, because there could be, you know, a penalty from that. But always take a picture. If you're unsure, take a picture, or even if there's no signage, I would just take a picture of the immediate area and say, look, it was not clearly signed, because with that Six of Pentacles there and the Six of Cups, a lot of you could get compensation, because with the Sun in the resistance position, it means you didn't see something, or it wasn't, you know, viewable, or it wasn't readily visible to be seen. And you could contest that, okay? And although you may worry about it, I feel like you could nullify that and get compensated, or have the fine kind of dissolve there, okay? Now, I'm just clarifying that Nine of Swords. We got the Seven of Pentacles. This is the alternative. So a lot of you are looking at an alternative wealth, or building, you know, second streams, new strategy, opening yourself up, being at a crossroads. You could be restructuring, trying out new things. This is a very explorative time. And when you have a Nine of Swords, I would say enjoy exploring, because there's no such thing as failure. There's no such thing as getting it wrong. It's just trying things out. If you think of the greatest minds of our time, they did not have their eureka moment straight away. They had trial and error. They tried things out. You know, they were exploring. They were in the laboratory of life, where you try something and go, oh, that wasn't as lucrative as I thought, but now I know how to build on that and change some things and make it better. You know, even the biggest, wealthiest people, they were not wealthy overnight, unless, of course, they came from wealth. You know, most self-made people, they learnt and they tried it out. A lot of you may even kind of connect to a person who's been there, done that, and they will give you the pitfalls to avoid. And that's just half the battle. It helps you avoid things that could be negative. But that Nine of Swords, it's more about worry, about something alternative. As I said, there could be some new rules, regulations, or policies, or something changing in your working environment right now, or even tools that you feel it's hard to get to grips with. For some of you, this could be something really new that is offered as a new system, and you may like the old way. I have to say, they're going to trial this, and then they will return to the old way, because essentially it was better. Okay, so if you like the old way, then I definitely see that there will be a return to the old way. Okay, thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Taurians? Oof. So we got Helper. I did mention that. I mean, look at this deck. There's so many cards here. I'm going to go again, by the way, but there's so many cards here. You could have got anything, right? And there's an energy of a helper. Some of you may even get support or be offered some sort of support because there's a lot of work on at this moment in time. If you are someone who's an independent worker, you could outsource some of your tasks, maybe to an accountant because there's a lot of money energy there. You could go to a tax advisor or a wealth strategist for some of you, or you could be like getting some sort of digital assistant that is hard to get to grips with at first, but eventually you will. Okay, so we've got caution. So you're being cautious with your finances. Oh my gosh, look at this. We've got luck. So there is a surprise. The Tower and the Wheel of Fortune, they normally show up together in my readings, and this is the equivalent of the Wheel of Fortune, okay? The Tower basically means surprise, restructure, change, or a sudden kind of realization that the old structure is not working, or, you need to let some things go in order to manage something else. But we've also got next level there as well. I said it from the very beginning. I see an upgrade in your energy. And this is what is happening there for you. Now, we've got fun on her T there. What does it say exactly? I can't see the red writing there, but fun, of course. Important to have fun with what you're doing. But basically it says, avoid giving too much of yourself whilst neglecting your own needs. Yes, you are broken down and tired. You definitely need to rest a little bit. Consider careers in either customer services or dealing with people or partnerships, alliances, things like that, because you care so much about what you're doing. But also don't fear asking for help or accepting help if someone is willing to give you a hand. So that Nine of Swords can be, fear of accepting help. But also, I feel more than anything, because the Six of Pentacles is in your position, it tells me that you may offer to help somebody and they fear accepting your help. And you just kind of allay their fears and say, look, swallow your pride, because we've got the pride card right there in the resistance position. Swallow your pride and accept that I can help you in this moment. And we can sort it out later. So we've got Explorer, as I said, be explorative. I feel this is a great time to do that for you. Keep trying. There's no mistakes, just opportunities to learn and grow. That's literally the first sentence there. My guides give me everything for a reason. That's why it came out in your reading. You may be called to explore new careers or new ways to match your fearlessness and curiosity in your industry. You may need to go wandering and trust the unknown at this time. That's where the magic lies. So, yeah, I definitely see you stepping into unknown territory, being a little bit worried or nervous, but you're feeling the fear and doing it anyway, and you're going to be a raging success. Now, we've got caution there. As I mentioned, a lot of you have protective cards over your finances, and it's like you're cautious of the worst case scenario financially because you're protecting your wealth. I'm not surprised to see this card here. It says here, you're careful not to overspend on wants instead of needs. And of course, you're being cautious when making financial decisions, yes. And you're worried about more going out than coming in, because you've got that Six of Pentacles there as well. But looking at the outcome, Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, there's going to be more like coming in or being saved, more held on to. We've also got luck, so surprise opportunity, Wheel of Fortune energy. And it says here, your luck is about to change for the better. You could get a lucky break or some sort of financial breakthrough. Anything you do now will be very prosperous for you. I definitely see that you're doubling down in some way. Listen to your ideas. They have a lot of value, and also value yourself. And we've also got be a boss. I mean, some of you are literally becoming your own boss, going from that Queen energy, maybe structuring your own business or being a leader or stepping into a role of responsibility, or just, taking the lead in your story when it comes to your finances or your career. It says you're either about to take your finances to the next level, or it's time that you do. Your finances will be improved. If they haven't improved yet, it certainly will be soon. And there's a chance of something extra in the air. Yes, that's it. There's something extra in the air for you right now. And I'm just going to go and get one more deck there for you. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Taurians? Anything more regarding their finances? We've got Braving Storms. Braving storms. You're going to be still standing, okay? So do not worry there. It says, no matter what happens, you will emerge with grace. Changing direction. But I mean, it can be that something is changing direction or restructuring. I mean, for some of you, this could literally be that there is an office move or a building move or perhaps a relocation of a branch. Or maybe you're thinking about relocating where you work. And it could be that everything feels up in the air. Everything's in boxes. There's a refurb. You still got to do what you got to do, but there's a lot of distraction and you're trying to remove yourself from that distraction. And, you know, no matter where you move to, it feels like there could be some minor distractions going on over the next couple of weeks, but you're removing yourself from major distractions. But we've also got swift returns here. Okay, Queen of Pentacles to a King of Pentacles, that reflects that too. It says, the effort you put in now comes back to you soon. Strike while you can. Oh my gosh, I kid you not. Now, I wrote it down so I can prove it. I'm loving that I've written it down because sometimes I don't write it down. When I came to your reading, as soon as I sat down in your energy, I heard strike while the iron is hot. So it says strike while you can. Okay, I mean, that's kind of similar, but there's an energy of strike. So I'm just going to show you what I wrote there. I do write down a few things because it shows up in your energy, but I don't like to mention it unless it comes into your reading. If it doesn't come into the reading, I don't like to infiltrate or influence the reading, but I put here, strike while the iron is hot. Apologies for my writing, because when I'm stepping into your energy, you know, I go to a different place. So my writing looks like a little spider fell in an ink pot and then crawled its way across the page. So strike while the iron is hot. I would say that tower can be to like get into action on something quite quickly. But I'm excited for you there, and I feel there's movement ahead, and you worked really hard for it anyway. So, oh, isn't this interesting? So you have a bicycle. So again, there's another bicycle. I mean, some of you could be a courier. You know, it could be that you're partnering up with different companies to be a courier, for example. You're doing, you know, many different sort of courier events there, but it doesn't have to be. It can be with that cycle. It's connected to your reading, like cycles of repeat, breaking free, keeping things interesting. But also it can be that, you know, you'll have two cycles, two things running simultaneously there. Also, we have an indication of the two energies that's coming through. So when you have the seahorse, it means something you're committed to, something that you're loyal to, okay, and something that's pretty special. But also the seahorse, the masculine seahorse, you know, that is not typical. It's something out of structure to the typical norm. So it can be that you're doing something different, wild and wacky and interesting and exciting that is different than you normally do, and it's going to be a raging success. But also it tells me you're doing something that perhaps you're loyal to right now. And we also have a bird here on a branch, and the bird can represent more independence, freedom to roam. Some of you may be trying to put a structure in place in order to be more nomadic in your working industry, but it could be that you're going to be doing two things. One that is structured, you have a contract or something that's stable, you know where your money's coming from, and also something that complements, that is a little bit more freelance or a little bit more independent at this time. The bird represents bird's eye view of your career, but also, you know, having more freedom in your working environment. And it's like the pinnacle moment before you spread your wings and fly. Okay, so I feel like you're safe to explore and spread your wings in your industry because things are looking like they're heading in the right direction for you. So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates, my beautiful Taurians. Thank you so much, and love and light.